Well, it's turned into a bit of a Sam Cockings week here at Trek Zone for the last week of January. And on this edition of That Time When, the podcast where we take you through the archive at Trek Zone, it seems only fitting to catch up with That Time When Sam joined us to talk about his Star Trek fan film.
Taking you back through the library of Trek Zone in a bite-sized podcast. That Time When.
Fan Films Done Right is back for 2019, and it is the month of March, and we're continuing it with Mr. Samuel Cockings from his home. Sam, thanks for coming back to Trek Zone, buddy.
Always good to be back.
Now, you got a little fan film that you released a few weeks ago.
I feel I have to quote Worf. Little? I think it's an especially big one, actually. No, yeah, it came out. What a reaction. I'm on cloud nine, and I'm looking forward to the next one to come out. I'm already thinking of the next one, aren't I?
We should mention the title of it, of course, Temporal Anomaly. Where did it get started? 2013. We're back in 2013, 6 years ago. Where did that idea come from?
Well, jump back one more year, 2012. I was a first-year university student, and I made my first and only Stargate fan film. Made that in between.
We were younger then.
We were. But still quite a good filmmaker, just no visual effect experience, and that's where I've sort of evolved over these years. And I made this film in between the two semesters, so I was able to do it in the break. That went brilliant, and it's been the number one most viewed Stargate fan film for those 6 years. It's amazing. The second year, I was like, I might as well do that again. But on Stargate, let's make Star Trek. I always loved Star Trek. At that point, I wasn't as into Star Trek. I mean, I'd been into it as a kid, but Stargate took over. But I realised Star Trek is such a broad world, broad universe. There's so many more creative possibilities. And then I thought, well, if I'm doing only one fan film ever in my life, could you believe that? What should it be? A fan's dream. All of them put together every year. I love crossovers. I love Into Mirror Darkly. I love Relics. And the basic story came about, and then honestly, it was the joy was the interaction between the different characters, because just putting a Wrath of Khan character next to a TNG character creates interesting questions of how their perspectives are different, what their references are going to be different, and that it was a very quick write actually, and it had dream to write.
How long did it take you to write?
I think about 2 months on and off. While being a student, I actually went back and read some early drafts, and beyond taking out certain bits, just refining, there's a lot of just raw dialogue from like draft 3 that's just like, this is still good, and obviously it's all on the actor then. I happen to have good actors, I think, that delivered them well, the music, it all comes together in the end. So even dialogue written, in January 2013 can still sound good in January 2019.
Now, this is a spoiler warning. Obviously, people have to have seen this film by now. Surely they have. If you haven't, link in the video description. But, Sam, that twist, the twist of it being a holo novel, where did you think of that? How did you think of that?
I just thought it was the most efficient way to allow a story like this, and I liked the idea of having this overriding arc, because if you break it down, it really is just the story of John Harriman who wants to learn, and he could do it by reading or he could do it by living. And so he goes in a holodeck one day, does his program, fails a little bit, does it again, and at the end he feels justified to go finally meet a reproduction of his great-great-granddad, who's been trying to feel close to through his entire life. And it just created this nice little arc in it. In fact, if you actually watch the start again, you can see Harriman's performance, Marcus Churchill. He knows. He plays certain scenes in a specific way that if you see on second viewing, he knows it's not real. That's why he's not as, worried or tense. And there's certain moments where he's just enjoying the show, because he knows not really danger. So that was fun.
Very interesting, and it's the best part about getting the actors involved and reading the script, I guess, because the general viewer isn't going to read the script firsthand. So it was very well played by Marcus, and a lot of the feedback has been that it was a twist that people didn't see coming. Was that gratifying for you?
Oh, absolutely. And with my custom deal with CBS, I had to put in 2 parts, which completely changed the feel. It was always meant to be one sort of episode. 2013, that was what everyone did. But luckily at the halfway point, it ends on a cliffhanger note. And so many people in part 1 felt the need to comment saying, da-da-da, da-da, I can't believe it. So many reactionary comments. And I'm thinking to all of them, it'll make sense in part 2. And so I never thought I'd get that sort of half experience, because once the reveal happens, you can't think that same way again. So yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And I think for the most part, it's 9 out of 10 people appreciate it, because for some people, it removes all of the threat, and it does literally. But in all my test viewings and friends and family, when it plays up the second go round, because you like the characters, because you're invested in the situation, you're right back in the action, even though you know it's fake, you want to see what happens. You haven't lost the plot. 1 out of 10 feel like it does, but 9 out of 10 is pretty good, I think, to satisfy in that way.
Well, that's brilliant. So part of that special dispensation from CBS was to split it into 2 parts, which really created a sense of or a suspension there. Was there any sort of thought in your mind that maybe you should hold on to part 2 and release it a little later just to build the suspense?
Oh no, I wanted it done, out, finished. No, and honestly, the joy of it is to be able to watch part 2 straight away. Is to see what happened, because like I said, I was blown away by the comments. We've all seen fan films, we've all seen fan film comments, and it's never the nicest environment. And so I got easily 9 out of 10 positive comments, and I was blown away. I think at a time when Discovery's on and Trek is in a weird place, having something that's so prime and referential and yet still a good story really appealed to lots of people, and I think I kind of hit the ultra geek niche, and yet still having the filmmaking to back it up. And so yeah, just telling the whole story was important. And again, lots of comments at the end of part 2 saying, I can't wait for the next one. And I'm saying, there's Convergence. They're like, what's Convergence? I'm like, just check on this channel, there's stuff, look.
Here it is. Here it is. Go have some more.
Are you watching us on YouTube? Click the link in the description to catch this interview in full now. Maybe you're listening to us on your favourite podcast app. Then beam over to our official watch page and click the link there.